Good morning, boys and girls. We are on lesson 7. Our I Can statement for today is I can share and critique solution strategies for varied addition and subtraction problems within 1000. So we're going to be looking at a few problems today and the different ways that people solved those problems and talk about the different strategies that they used. And then we're going to solve a problem on our own. Make sure you have a pencil and piece of paper to follow along with us today, and we're going to start with our application problem. So our application problem says, Jeannie got a pedometer to count her steps. The first hour she walked 43 steps. The next hour she walked 48 steps. Part A asks how many steps did she walk in the first 2 hours. Part B says how many more steps did she walk in the second hour than in the first hour. So this, by the way, this is the pedometer over here. So let's zoom out. And on my board, I have a read, draw, write checklist. So we read our problem. So they want to know, and I split my board in half because there's 2 different parts. So right now we're going to work on this part over here. So they want to know how much they have all together. So we need to add the first hour and the second hour together. So we have 43 from the first hour and 48 from the second hour. So I already have 43 on my board. Remember, when we're adding, we start in the the ones place, excuse me. So we have to do 3 plus 8. So we're going to add 8 more to the ones column. So we have 8 more. Now let's see how many we have in our ones column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we need to circle 10 of them. And we're going to exchange 10 ones for 1 10. So now how many ones do we have in our ones column? Good, just 1. And we traded that other one into the tens column. So now we had the 4 that were there, that 1 we traded in, and we need to add 4 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's see how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it says, excuse me, she walked 91 steps in the first 2 hours. Now we've done the drawing and the writing for the first problem. So I'm going to put a check for drawing and writing, but now we need to do the draw and the write for part B. So over here we have 48 minus 43 because I want to know how many more steps she walked in the second hour than the first hour. So you need to find the difference to find how many more there is. So if we do 48 minus 43, I have 48 already on our board. Now we need to take away the 43. So we always start in our ones column. So I'm going to cross off 3 ones. And how many do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I need to do 4 minus 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 0. So 48 minus 43 is 5. So she walked 5 more steps in the second hour than in the first hour. So I've drawn my picture and I've written my statement for that one. So we are all done with that application problem. So now let's look at a few problems and the ways that they solve those problems. So we have 697 plus 223. We could talk about how, if we were in person, we talk about how we would solve this problem or how you would solve it. But it says, how did student A solve this problem? What did they do? Good, they used a number bond. So they tried to get the 697 they saw that was really close to the next 100, which was what? Good, 700. And they knew to get from 697 to 700, you needed 3 more. So they took the 3 from the 223 and they added it to the 697 and got 700. And then when they took that 3 out, the 220 was left. So now they had to add 700 plus 220, which equals 920. So when they do that, they can use the place value chart if you need to. If not, that's okay. All right, let's see how student B solved that problem. What did student B do to solve this problem? Good, they used the arrow way. So they still knew that it would be easiest to get the 697 to the next 100. So they still did plus 3. So they took that 3 away from 220 and they added it first to 697 to get to 700. Then they added the 200 from 223, and then they knew they only had 20 left, so they added 20 more and they got 920. Nice work. So if you needed a place value chart maybe to add the 700 and 200 together, or the 900 and the 220 together, that's okay too. Now let's look at this problem. It says 864 minus 380. So student C solved it by taking the 10 out. So they knew if they took the 20 out, they could add it to 380 to get to the next 100, which was what? 400. And then that took them, so they now have 844 and 20, and they added the 380 and the 20 together, and they got 400, and now they had 844 left, and that's 844 minus 400, which is good, 444. But is that correct? No, that's not correct, because what happened was when they took that 20 out and they moved it over, they changed the difference between the numbers. So instead of the difference being 484, it was now 444, and that's not correct. So they changed how it looks. So if you were to do 864 minus 380 on a place value chart, it would look different and you would not get 444. So you have to be careful, because what student C did is not correct. So student D, they did where they added 20 to both numbers. So they knew when they added 20 to both, it doesn't change the difference or how much is in between them. So it won't change what your answer is. So 884 minus 400 is 484. Now we're going to solve this problem together. So we have 490 plus 275. Let's talk about some ways that we can solve this problem. Good, we could just use a place value chart, or we could use get it to the nearest 100 by doing the number bound way, or we could do the arrow way. We're going to do it by using, we're going to do one way together, and then I want you to do another way on your own. So today we're going to do the number bound way, where you take the 100 out, or try to get to the nearest 100, excuse me. All right, so we have 490 plus 275. So to get this or that, which one's closer to the next 100? Good, 490 is closer. We only need 10 more to get to the next 100. So we're going to take 10 out of here which leaves us with 265. So if we do 490 plus 10, you get what? Good, 500. So now we're going to do 500 plus this number, so 265. And what does that equal? I could do that in my head, but that's because I've been doing math for a long time. So if we added 100 tens and ones chart, we have 5 hundreds, and then we have to add 265. So we're starting in a ones place, so we add 5 ones, 6 tens, and 2 hundreds. So now we have 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Our answer is 765. Nice work. So I want you to try and solve that a different way. Here's our problem set. So it says, circle the student work that shows a correct solution for 543 plus 290. So which of those 3 ways are the right way to solve that problem? And then I want you to explain what the ones that were incorrect, that were not right, what they did. Now number 2 says, circle a student work that correctly shows a strategy to solve 721 minus 490. And then fix the work that is incorrect by making a new drawing in the space below with a matching number sentence. And number 3 says the two students solved 636 plus 294 using 2 different strategies. Explain which strategy would be easier to solve when solving and why. So I want you to pick which one is easier and why that is easier, and explain your reasoning. That's all I have for today. Great work today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I miss you all and I love you. Bye, guys.